Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another scene set in the Chronicles of Darkness Vampire Requiem, a Requiem for London. Tonight we set the scene in Hackney, the only inner city borough that the Circle of the Crone are known to fully control, and a domain that has only become more violent as time has passed, as the war for London has begun in earnest. Charlie has made her way here, not to fight on the Sanctified's behalf. Heavens, no. That is not a ship she has any intention of sailing on. But she is here to meet with a certain individual, or to go to a specific location. A shop of occult wares known as The Art specializes in all sorts of mystical knickknacks. Healing crystals, traditional air quotes medicine, tarot cards, and all sorts of symbols from all sorts of different belief systems. You can find just about anything here for your magical needs. And a word is shop to be in the domain of, let's say, Camden. The Sanctified would have likely taken it under their wing. But you, Charlie, have come to Hackney. And you make your way to the shop. You have to avoid at least one kindred on your way here. Making your way to this place in a time of conflict as part of a covenant that is at war for Crone is a dangerous endeavor. And perhaps you have only been successful because you are alone and are not drawing attention to yourself, as a David normally does. The shop exterior, it's sort of like along a row of shops. It's not particularly large, fits in quite snugly. The rest of the shopping lane, but it does stand out as having a particular style to it. Although the building clearly isn't that old, the shop itself has been made to look a bit older than it actually is. A sense of authenticity. Do you enter the shop? It is still currently open.
Yeah, I'll go in, have a look-see.
So you enter, the doorbell rings benevolently. There are no models here. In fact, there are only two models. Sorry, not two models, two individuals. The shop itself, where you can see the various sections, you have a quick look around. Everything's quite neatly organized. Pricey, but it's to be expected, really. You can already see a few things that would be useful for sanctified rituals. But there's also quite a lot of pagan iconography on display. Certainly not offensive to your sensibilities, but certainly not pandering to your particular crowd. Or at least one of the crowds you belong to, shall we say. What does immediately stick out to you, and something that causes you to do a double take, is first of all, you see this woman. She is, as she appears in the overlay, short, disheveled black hair with a wadjet symbol over one of her eyes, an ankh around her neck, a black tank top on, and simple jeans. She has a lot of bracelets and necklaces on. Her eyes sort of gleam on over towards you as you enter. But the most interesting thing is the individual who she's having a discussion with, someone who looks remarkably out of place, someone who doesn't even look remotely human to your senses. A woman with wavy black hair. It looks almost like a humanoid tigress. Her clothing is quite loose. Wearing basically a jacket over herself and some shredded trousers, and that's about it. For whatever reason, whenever you look at her, despite her rather a pleasant expression, she gives off an absolutely terrifying mien. You can't point to exactly why, only that she comes across as incredibly unsettling to even look at. She does not have a predatory aura.
I'm going to try real hard not to stare. But probably staring a little.
As she concludes her business with the shopkeeper, she simply removes herself from the till. She's been leaned over. She notices you looking at her awkwardly. She flashes you a smile. Her cat-like eyes are very piercing. Her fangs are very unsettling.
I'm gonna do like a very awkward smile and like a very small wave of, yes, I was caught staring. Hello there.
Oh, do you say anything to her? She just goes to move past you.
Nah. She won't say anything. She'll step out of the way. Yeah, no, she'll like smile politely and give like a little head nod, like an acknowledgement of her existence, but it does not seem like the time to start asking random feline individuals questions.
Hmm. You can see her rubbing her claws, not fingers, claws together, almost like as if they were fingers. On one hand, just kind of rubbing like what would be her thumb That appears to be a claw against the rest of her fingers on her hand. Sort of is sort of the motion gesture people make when it's just something were to make them a lot of money. But she places her paw in her pocket. She walks out of the shop. Her gaze from you, briefly breaking. She looks almost satisfied with the amount of attention that you give her, with the awkwardness in the stare. She will depart. Notice her eyes outside. They very much do kind of glow like a cat's in the darkness. She'll just begin to walk back down the road.
Charlie will kind of like follow her, not follow like physically, but like turn and kind of watch her as she's going out. Like it's really, she's trying so hard not to stare. She's trying so hard to be polite about this, but like she has never seen, like she's like trying to figure out, okay, is that like body paint? Is she a street performer? Like, is this just a cat person, or do cat people exist now?
The odd thing is that individuals who, models who seem to walk past her don't seem to acknowledge her at all. Or rather, they might look at her briefly, glance at her, but they don't seem to react the way you are. It's almost as if they're reacting to a normal person.
Well, all right then. Hello there.
The woman looks at you. She is gazing over something, or rather, she is looking at you intently. Smiling at you as if you were smiling at you quite mischievously, as if you were up to no good.
Judging by the fact that you're the one sitting behind the counter, I'm assuming I get a predatory aura off of her.
Yeah.
Okay, so judging by you're the one sitting behind the counter right now, I'd assume you at least work here.
Why, yes, tonight is a busy night.
I'm happy your business is going well then. I wouldn't be surprised if it's had an uptick given recent events.
An uptick. Yes, we are heading towards our little climax. I've been waiting for you.
Why did I feel like I knew you were?
I wait for a lot of people. This place is beginning to get a reputation.
Yeah, I've heard about you from multiple people. Now I've been meaning to stop by for a while. I just didn't Well, I guess I just haven't been able to find the time.
Well, now you have plenty of time. Certainly more than you did before.
And in ways I do and I really don't. I have more time to do the things I need to do, but the things I need to do are more important than they were when I didn't have as much time. I I heard that I I suppose it would be you. You I I heard talk of prophecies.
She does sigh. Yes, yes, I am.
Um I'm sorry, I didn't realize this was a sore subject for you.
It's not. Would you like to talk elsewhere?
Sure.
She'll head around the back of the tunnel and open a door just off to the side that leads to a personal office of hers. Very plain, unassuming. If you enter, she will close the door behind her. A few knickknacks on her desk, a few oddities on the wall. Ask me a question.
Is that how this works? I ask you a question and then you give an answer, or
Maybe, or maybe I've seen that you ask me a question.
alrighty then. What what prophecy is everyone so bent out of shape about? I
Prophecies. Hmm.
Sorry, what was that?
There are lots of prophecies in London. You'll have to elaborate.
So kind of like give a little bit of smile and laugh and say, I I don't I don't I don't know what exactly I'm looking for except we're we're headed toward something, and a lot of people don't seem particularly jazzed about it, but apparently they've also known it's coming, or at least you've told them things and they haven't liked your answer. I I guess if I have to pick something extremely specific, is our is there a future here? Even in 3 months with everything that's happening, it just There's so much killing and violence, and everything's getting torn down. Are we really just building our own grave right now, or is there an actual chance at something else being here?
I thought you would have, for someone your age, you would have understood that we are always digging our own graves.
And there's a difference between digging your own grave and hiring a crew to make sure that happens as fast as possible.
What worries you such that you feel the need to ask that question?
Ah, a lot, to be completely honest. There's the owls. From what I understand and from what I've seen, they're just here to incite chaos, and then maybe it's them causing all this infighting. But I know that even whichever side wins, even if there is a victory, whatever's left ain't gonna be left for much longer if we're just tearing each other apart like this.
The owls are barely even a fraction of this story. You are over focusing on them.
Then perhaps you can point me in a better direction.
They are an unforeseen consequence to countless sins committed centuries ago. They are here, as they always are, to exact their revenge for nameless crimes that all of us have long since forgotten, apart from one of us. Perhaps it'd be more accurate to say that they are not here for us more than they are here for him.
For him?
But he, to think at any point in my life I'd have even considered aligning myself with the owls, that is amusing to me. The one they come for, the one they seek to destroy, and thus sate themselves on, and by extension liberate us from. That is the person you should be focusing on.
And I guess it be a little too much to ask for more than just a gender.
She pauses. She doesn't really look at you. In fact, she sort of looks around, but not like in paranoia. She sort of just looks sort of vaguely to space in front of her and down at her desk. It's almost like she's trying to focus on something, but there's nothing tangible for her to even look at or to focus on. Soon, neither the prince Not a Carthian shall be the controlling interest in London.
Are any of the Covenants really in control?
Yes, they were. The unconquered were unconquered. They were in control. They kept everything very quiet. For a while.
What happened?
They spent the last 20 years believing they had won a war that had never ended.
And
And now everything is going according to plan.
whose plan?
His plan. You have not been here very long, but I see them on you. All of those little strings he has on you. And I can tell he hasn't even met you.
Well, all right, it's somebody I haven't met yet. Am am I supposed to meet him?
No,
Is anybody supposed to meet him?
many who know him believe him old and broken, but only one of those things is true. Those who serve him know that they are going to win. But he will not rule. He does not wish to rule. He is tired of ruling. He is to become the emperor sleeping.
If he's so tired of ruling, why is he going through all this trouble?
Because the prince is a fraud. The Carthians are a threat. The sanctified are weak. And the crone, we can only watch.
And
This city must have a prince. It must have a prince, or then we might really die. You can't have a city without a prince.
So this is all just destined to fail, so he can send somebody to take over?
To convince them to take over, to teach them that they must, because they won't.
Is it because they don't know, or because they know when they don't want it either?
No, they believe too much in others. Their pain has taught them the wrong lessons. This war is to teach them the right ones. And they will see their fellows for what they are. And then he will realize what he must do. And then we will have a prince again. Your sire was the perfect sword. A real firebrand. Passionate, self-righteous, violent, and just powerful enough to be noticeable. The trail of powder had already been set. All that was needed was someone to light the spark. A rolling cavalcade of fire.
And what does that make the rest of us? Kindling? Just bodies meant to be burned?
No, bodies meant to serve a purpose. To teach one much older and greater than your eye of the burden that they hold, of the importance of their lineage, of what it means to succeed a god in waiting. What you see is the surface. It is ideals, old and young, but all mortal, based around very simplistic ideas of right and wrong. Carthian versus Invictus, Sanctified versus Crone. You and me. But that is not the truth of a conflict. Not even the true heir to Vista main understands the truth of the conflict. When he does, that is when you will know who it is that I speak of. But then it will be too late. You will not be able to change anything. If you want to change anything. You are not of the movement or the Invictus. You have no reason to care.
I'm gonna have to politely disagree with you there, ma'am. These aren't my covenants, you're right, but at the end of the day, you say I'm on the surface. Okay, fine. Being on the surface is just fine with me because I see a whole lot here too, and what I see is kindred killing each other for reasons I don't even think they fully understand, reasons I don't fully understand, and I see fires being started that we can't put out. And now I'm no clairvoyant, ma'am, but I see a future of flames, and I don't want that. I don't think any of us really do. I mean, what's the point of a dead Invictus or a dead Carthian or a dead Sanctified or anybody? At the end of the day, they're just dead. And there's no change from that. There's no growth from that. It's just another body.
Doesn't need to change you or them or those that die. They're relevant. As you say, they are kindling.
Well, maybe I'd like to change that then. Maybe.
You can't.
Why not?
It's too late. It's already been set in motion. It's all coming to a head. It's all going according to plan. The plan.
Well, we can't know that for sure until it all happens, can we?
The Carthians made their choice.
She'll kind of smile and she'll say, "Well, you said it yourself. I'm not a Carthian."
But you can't stop them, can you? What they're going to do.
I don't know yet, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to try.
They're going to make us a prince.
Make? In what sense of the word?
Make, as in create.
Yes, but that can mean a lot of different things.
I don't understand.
You can make somebody a leader by teaching them what they need to know and giving them.
They are a leader, yes. Yes, but they are not a prince. They don't wish to be a prince. They cannot be a prince until they see that they must be a prince.
All right, that actually answers the question and is somehow significantly less concerning than where my head went originally, which is nice, I guess. I see when you said make a prince, my head went, well, none of us are really born, are we? We're made.
Oh. But you don't understand. Yes, the prince is being made.
And like the building blocks way or the more social way?
Well, she looks at you. No, you have seen. You're at Elysium. It takes a lot of bodies to make a prince. This prince.
Where is there somewhere I can go to see this prince or prince in the making for myself?
You already met them.
Oh, I've met so many people.
Well, I can't help you with that. I can. She's sort of like, sort of rocking back and forth, with her hands on a fire as she sits. She looks a bit neurotic.
Is she okay?
How do I help you? This is not a war between the Invictus and the Carthians. This is a war between two men, and one is going to win. It is not a war between the Carthians or the Invictus. It is a war for the soul of the domain. Whether we are part of something new, well, it's going to be new either way, but whether the old man may rest or whether the old man has to search again, like he has for the past millennia. My sect mates know. They don't understand yet, but they know what's happening. Because they're going to start praying. They already see him in their dreams. But they call him a different name. Legate, Centurion, Roman. The Empire never left. It stuck around. It stuck around. they're going to pray to him. Many of them already do.
Do you?
No. I cannot. My role in this world is quite different. Sarah's is going to die. But I don't mind. She needs to die. I already spoke to her killer, the herald of her killer. It's been a long time. It will be good to see something return to how it should be.
I guess. Excuse me. I guess we'll just have to wait and see where things end up.
I don't know where you're going to end up. You have already served a purpose. A purpose, not the purpose.
I have?
You account for the unforeseen variable under London. Your friends are as well. They're going to have some very difficult choices. But in the end, none of them can be saved. All of those will die either way.
I guess eventually we're all gonna die. It's just a matter.
No, not all of us will die. Some of us just persist. Like the empty or the bound. We just keep going. Death just can't seem to keep us down.
Persistent isn't much of a life.
Doesn't matter. Not to them. Not to those who pull the strings. Not to those. Not to those who persist.
I guess that's true. Otherwise, they wouldn't be persistent.
Power means more than virtue to them. There are a few things left that people like that will not die for. Or will die for. She looks a bit confused for a moment. But this war is something they will. And it's not his fault, and it's not his fault, but we are out of time. And when time runs out, the new will become old and the old will become new. Things will right themselves. You won't have to live in your arbitrary boundaries anymore. The borders the prince calls a domain. Things will change. But the players are still the same. You are the deep sea diver in this ocean of possibility. You came to me because you only saw the surface, but you wish to dive deeper, yes?
Yes.
Then you must recall the dregs at the bottom of this ocean. That is your purpose. You are the silver lining.
How am I supposed to dive deeper? I
That
don't.
will come naturally. You don't need to breathe. Drowning suits us just fine. You don't need to try. You don't need to go looking. The dregs will find you as you sink.
And I just have to let myself sink?
Yes, but eventually you'll have to start swimming. Otherwise, you will join what remains at the bottom, torn apart by the sharks that smell your blood. And there are so many sharks. This this domain is like a phoenix. It will burn to the ground and then be reborn from its own ashes. The Invictus, the Carthians, your sanctified, my circle. It's all going to collapse. Everything's going to break. It's already breaking. You can't stop that. I can't stop that. But you can find the pieces once it has. You'll have help from your new prince.
And what if this new prince and I don't get along so well?
What are you talking about? You're already the best of friends.
But you said I never met him.
No, you've already met him. That's the point of all this. That's the reason the Greymen and the Revenants and the Owls, and why the Centurion orchestrated this, and why Joshua attacked the Invictus and the Ordo, and it is the reason for everything. That's it. That's all this is. This is just a lesson. This is just a lesson from sire to child. That's all this is. It's no more complicated than that. You won't have long. You won't have to wait to sink to the bottom of the ocean. The surface is deeper than the ocean itself. All of these people fighting for things that don't matter, that won't matter. All of these people bickering over things that they think they deserve, arguing over who deserves what, when really it doesn't matter who deserves anything. The only thing in this city that matters is who holds power. And no one in this war, outside of those two men, hold any power. Not your bishops, not Verve, not the sheriff, not the Primogen, not the Order or the Kogan. Nor the atrocities they hide, the things they've made. None of these things matter. They're window dressing. Artificial justifications for something much more important, something they don't even understand. But nobody listens. Nobody cares. Because everybody in this war only cares about what they want. And that is the lesson. Because you have to make people care. Damn it! That is the lesson. I hope that answered your question.
She just kind of gives like a little bit of a stunned nod. Like she's very much got that deer in the headlights look.
She has struck the table so hard that it's caused a table leg, that one of the table legs under the table, to just break, and the table's just sort of fallen over.
If there's like a book or something, she'll like kind of take it and... Okay, is the table like completely gone? Like, does it just not exist anymore?
There's a book on the table, yeah. There's a few things on the table. There's a computer on the table, that's fallen over.
She'll kind of like prop some stuff back up. and not necessarily as like a oh no these things have fallen over, but more as like a I okay things have fallen over. This is the one thing I can think of to do right now. Hopefully everybody learns their lesson then. I thank you for answering my questions. I really appreciate it. How should I pay you back?
You don't have to pay me back. This is why I exist.
Well, all right then. I don't feel too great getting all that for nothing. So why don't I buy a deck of tarot cards or something, and we'll call it even.
She picks up a card. It's like a worn playing card at first glance, but when she sort of like examines it herself, you can see thorns growing out the back of it. She just puts it in her pocket. If you wish. I wonder what tarot you are.
If I had to take a crack at it, probably the Fool.
No, your friend. No. Damien is the Fool.
Have you two met?
No. I wonder if you are perhaps the devil.
I I don't know.
Your sire is the tower. He wants to be the star.
Yeah, yeah, I can. That's fair.
Well, perhaps you are the lovers.
Which one are you?
She she smiles at you. I am the Wheel of Fortune. Reversed. You can actually roll me intelligence occult to see what she means by that.
Yeah, okay. Meanwhile, I'm over here just screaming. I don't have a cult, and I only have 2 intelligence.
What the hell does reversed mean? You can drive backwards, that's about it.
Fuck it. I'm gonna spend a willpower on this.
Oh my god.
No. Damn it, Bishop, I don't fuck with tarot. I know what this shit means. Even if my character doesn't, Lydia doesn't. I've been screaming for like the past 15 minutes.
Alright.
Okay, so willpower gives you +2?
+3.
+3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that'll give me 4 with the chance dice, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
No, not the chance die. The chance die is basically... so if you're reduced to 0 dice, you roll a chance dice. So you're effectively adding +3 from 0, actually. So you got 2 intelligence, right?
Yeah.
You lose 3. You plus
So I'm
3.
essentially rolling 2.
You're rolling 2 dice, yes.
No.
Hey, 2 4s is an 8, right? That's how this works? Half a success on each roll. Yay.
It's fine.
You
It's fine.
have no idea what it means. But you could probably do some research and find out. I mean, tarot cards are a pretty popular piece of cultural esoterica.
Yeah, they are.
There's probably a book about it in this very store.
There probably is. Oh God, what a shame. I'm broke for the most part.
Oh, whoops. Do you actually have any resource dots?
I have 1 dot of resources and 3 dots of cash.
Well, you could just apply a dot of cash to buy something. Maybe find out. Or just apply your dot of resources.
Okay, can I buy a deck of tarot and a book about it for 2 dots in cash?
Oh, we have those on offer. We have those on offer. How fortunate.
Sorry, you're gonna have to explain what that means. I'm not from around here. As in, I don't actually know what you mean by on offer.
Oh, it means there's like a sale going on.
Okay.
Basically means, yeah, there's a sales offer going on. So, it could be like, 2-in-1 deal or something like that.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Sorry.
TIL.
Yeah. That would be great. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thanks. Just thank you for all of this.
Excellent. Yes, how fortunate.
Yep.
Yes. It is fairly pricey, but it's a fairly niche. It's a fairly niche store.
Okay, so is that 1 or 2 dots?
Just a dot of cash. The tarot cards aren't that expensive, but the book is worth a fair bit.
Okay. Yeah. She will buy this book and this deck of cards and thank this lovely person who... Did I ever catch her name?
No.
I'm so sorry. It was very rude of me not to introduce myself. My name's Charlie. You probably already knew that. What would you like me to call you, ma'am?
Oh, I had no idea what your name was.
Oh, well, my name's Charlie Barnett. Um, Clan David, you definitely already knew that one since you knew who Joshua was. Kind of the Lankea. Um,
I know his name. He likes talking.
that runs in the family. I just talk a little kinder.
Does the violent genocide also run in the family?
Definitely not. At least not so far. And I would very much like to keep it that way. We're we're not on bad terms, but we're not on the same page, you could say.
Well, soon you won't be in the same book.
Sometimes I wonder if we ever were.
Well, she nods in fascinated fashion as to how you are very much not genocidal. Interesting. Um, she finds the idea very intriguing from her expression.
The fact that I'm not a war criminal?
Yes.
Charlie looks very concerned at that. It's like, yeah, no, she just looks visibly like, what the fuck? Why is that surprising?
Well, here is your book.
Thank you. If I if I have any predictions based on what I learned in here on what the other cast members of this deck are, I guess I'll be sure to let you know.
That is not important to me. That is a hobby.
Sometimes sharing hobbies with potential new friends is nice.
If it helps you sleep during the day. I suppose.
I I meet a lot of people. A lot of them don't like me for stuff I haven't even done. A lot of them don't like me for stuff I haven't even done and didn't even know about. Um,
Oh, you've done plenty of things.
yeah. Oh, I let me rephrase. I've done a whole lot of stuff, and if people want to not like me for stuff I've done, that's fair. I'm gonna accept that one. I guess at the end of the day, if I'm given the opportunity, I'd rather extend my hand to shake a new friend's than to try to punch somebody out.
Well, that's the heartwarming thing. None of us may like each other, but we're all working towards the same thing.
Is it really that heartwarming if we don't know that we're working towards the same thing?
Well, you and I know.
Yeah.
It's not a. It's not our fault that they didn't bother to learn or listen. But it makes me happy.
It has been. a lovely night. I really am glad that I came here. I it's getting a little late, and I gotta take the long way back because I gotta route through all these different places, make sure I don't get seen.
You should go. You're going to need to save your clanmates from themselves.
Oh yeah, you might as well start calling me the fire department. And she'll like kind of look exasperated at the thought of more fires to put out, and just kind of like take her stuff under her like arm or whatever and head out.
It's raining when you leave.
I'll put like the book in my jacket and like wrap it up so none of like the paper stuff gets wet.
When you go to open the door and you open the door and you go to leave, you realize it's the little sign saying it's closed. It was open when you entered and nobody changed it.
Not even the cat furry on her way out.
I like that's your name for her, but she didn't change it. No, you. I thought it'd be like furry cat lady.
I mean, she's probably a werewolf, probably, but like furry cat lady works better.
No, you kind of gawked at her as she left. She never manipulated it in any way.
Okay then. Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna not think about that.
Well, bottling up your emotions is one way to deal with them.
Look.
Or not.
Look. The more emotional baggage I have, the better I'll sink.
You are not incorrect. And it is perhaps on that note that we shall end our scene. Thank you, player, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. We'll see you all next time. Good night.